once again to the Old West. How's it going, everybody? Shaun here. Welcome back for another series of Knott's Berry Farm vlogs. But it's not just any type of Knott's Berry Farm vlogs. No, sir. We're heading to Knott's Scary Farm. Yes, it's time. I talked about that last year, about possibly going to Knott's Scary Farm. Well, today's the day. We are officially going for the first time to Knott's Scary Farm. Now, as you all know, I've been to Knott's Berry Farm, but never have I ever been to Knott's Scary Farm. I'm crossing it off my bucket list, guys. We're doing it this year. I've heard some really good things about this year's Scary Farm, so I'm looking forward to it. I know a few friends are working the event, so that's pretty exciting. I'm excited to see them. And I know a few scare actors that used to work at Universal. They've also are working there right now, so I'm looking forward to it. I've been doing Universal's Halloween Horror Nights now for the last 7 years, ever since I started working there. And I'm just curious to see how different it is. I already know right off the bat it's going to be way different, but to see it in person is going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. It's looking a little gloomy today, too. Gives it that kind of spooky essence, you know what I mean? But of course, it's cloudy here, but goodness knows if it's cloudy over at Knott's. Oh, by the way, we're passing by the ABC Tower and Walt Disney Studios. I mentioned about this a lot in my Disneyland video series YouTube channel, for my vlogs, I mean. Sometimes I mention it in the Knott's Berry Farm vlogs. I think I have. We got the animation building right next door to the ABC Tower. It's crazy to think that Disneyland would have been right over here, right across the street from the studio. But they found property in Anaheim, so there you go. So in terms of what we will be seeing at Knott's Berry Farm, I honestly do not know. I mean, I know about the mazes, I know about the scare zones. Anything that can happen. I know I'm going to be recording a lot of vlogs today. I'm really hoping they'll let me record inside those mazes because I want to get a couple friends on camera. But if they don't, oh well. If that's the case, I'll just give you guys a review of how I thought the mazes were. I'm also going to be at the buffet over at Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant. I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll just see what happens. I'll definitely get footage of the merchandise there. I don't know if I'll really be getting any merchandise from Knott's because I'm not really looking for merchandise. Although, I do want to check out that lantern they've got. The interactive lantern that they have that you can use throughout the park. I'm also supposed to get like a photograph and like a souvenir cup or something from the buffet. So, I know, it's called buffet, but for Scary Farm, it's buffet. I'm hitting a little bit of traffic. It says I'll be at Knott's in less than an hour. I just passed through downtown LA, getting close to Indiana Street and Ditchman Avenue and Olympic Boulevard. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So I may have not been to Knott's Scary Farm, but I know a little bit about the history. So, like I mentioned previously, it's now been over 50 years since Knott's Berry Farm decided to open up their park for Halloween time. Only back then it was called Halloween Hunt. We're talking I want to say 1973. And it's interesting because in the 70s, like the early 70s, they weren't doing so very well. They opened up a couple of new areas in the park, including the Gypsy Camp. Unfortunately, when they opened that up, they thought it was going to be very successful. Well, unfortunately it wasn't. It was not that great of an area, apparently. Like, it was an interesting concept, but a lot of guests didn't really enjoy it that much. So, Knott's Berry Farm was seeing a little bit of a decline in the 70s. It wasn't until 1973 when they were considering opening up the park for a Halloween party. Now, the family, of course, they were looking at this going, we don't really want to do a party per se because, well, of different reasons. And then the one person decided to, in a way, break the tie in terms of having a Halloween party or not Halloween party. That, of course, was the man himself, Walter Knott. He heard about the ideas, he talked it over with them, saw the ideas that they wanted to do. Guess what he said? He said, I want to have a Halloween party. And no other theme parks had ever done anything like this before, ever. So, Walter Knott basically coined the Halloween experiences for theme parks. That includes the rides being rethemed for Halloween and including scare actors. Now, what's interesting is that when he was hiring these scare actors, this was the next year in 1974, they needed, maybe 1974 or 75, like in the mid-70s, they needed areas to be in. So originally, they were going to be in those little peep shops. So if you've ever been to Ghost Town, they have those shops that you can look into, see all the different mannequins and statues. Well, that's where the scare actors were going to be, because they were going to be interacting with the guests in there. The only problem was they couldn't find the keys to open up those areas. So what did they do? They stuck the scare actors in the street. So the Ghost Town area became the first ever scare zone. And after that, history was made. Then you have all the mazes coming in, the hanging over at the Wild West Stunt Show. It's seriously because one of the art directors and prop and special effects artists for Knott's Berry Farm used to work on the Planet of the Apes movies, and he had leftover prosthetics from, I think it was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, one of the older, not the new one, but one of the older Planet of the Apes movies. And he used his leftover prosthetics from that movie series and used them on the scare actors. So, even though they were supposed to be scary, it was almost like an advertisement for Planet of the Apes, because they were the exact same prosthetics by the exact same movie artist. How cool is that? Now, at that time, the IPs for Knott's Scary Farm were not as, like, unique as they are now, because they actually used IPs from Universal. They had, like, Dracula, the Bride of Frankenstein was there, the Wolfman was there, the Mummy was there, even the Phantom of the Opera was there. So they used a lot of familiar properties. I'm not sure if they had a license for that, but they had the Universal monsters at Knott's Berry Farm. It wasn't under the Universal name, but technically, if you look at old photos, it's literally the Universal monsters. And then down the road, it was renamed to Knott's Scary Farm, which is what it is right now. And they've been doing it now for 50 years, over 50 years. This is this 51st season, and we're going to it. What a legacy Knott's Berry Farm has. Not only is it considered the first theme park in America, it's also the first Halloween haunt in all of America too. Because years later, different theme parks around the globe started basically taking ideas from Knott's Berry Farm and creating their own Halloween haunts. Like Universal. Universal started their Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. Then they started it in Hollywood. Then we got Oogie Boogie Bash and, Fright Fest and all these other things. So yeah, it's unbelievable. Wow. All started at Knott's Berry Farm. How about that? Wow. Passing by the Citadel right now, and as you can see, that is a ribbon up there, but it's not for Christmas. I saw it from a distance. I'm like, is it already decorated for Christmas? No, it's for breast cancer awareness this month. So they have a pink ribbon on the building. I think before they used to have like a blow-up jack-o'-lantern or something, like or a witch, but now they have a pink ribbon up there for breast cancer awareness month. Ooh, that's a little creepy. Instead of the hills have eyes, it's the building has eyes. There's an advertisement for the Dark Harbor. We marry Dark Harbor. I doubt I'll be able to get to it this year. Maybe next year. Who knows? Coming up to Knott Avenue and Buena Park in just a couple of minutes. But as you all know, we don't take Knott Avenue, we take Beach Boulevard. Entering Orange County. And off in the distance, look really hard, we will be able to see Supreme Scream and Accelerator in the Sky Cabin. There they are. Knott's Berry Farm, next exit. Oh man, look at all the graffiti up there. Yikes. And here is, well, not Arby's, but here is the Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant's biggest competitor right here on this street, KFC. And here is Little J and Black Angus. Gonna pop in here for a little bit, grab a quick drink, maybe grab a couple snacks for the ride home. It used to be also a thing of mine to go to that GameStop over there, but that's gone now. Closed last time I was over here. Well, guys, I guess you could say I went a little bit of a shopping spree in there, because I went to my usual spots, you know, like in the action figure aisle, the book aisle, and the DVD aisle to see if anything was new. Not so much with like Marvel and DC. They had like some figures I already have. They had this one character by the name of Fire and Commander Steel, and I'm like, okay, I have those, but I came across the playing card aisle, and you know me, I like to play. You know, as you all know, lately I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually have been playing the Duel Links app on my phone. I've been getting kind of good, actually. There was actually a character on there that was like a level 50, and I was, what was I, level 17? I'm level 18 right now, but I clobbered the guy, apparently. Anyways, I found some more playing cards, and even a few figures. Yeah, some Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures. So one of the characters I'm going to be bringing out is going to be one of the Egyptian god cards I call upon, Obelisk, the Tormentor! There he is. Obelisk, that is a big boy right there. Man, this guy is huge. I think there is an infinity mode where he can absorb like different characters and creatures and other monsters, and yeah, this guy is very powerful. You don't want to mess with him. So that's my first character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Now the second Egyptian god card that could have summoned today would have been Slifer, the Sky Dragon. Unfortunately, they didn't have any figures of him. And as you all know, if you play Yu-Gi-Oh!, there are 3 Egyptian god cards. And Shaun, do you have all 3 Egyptian god cards? Yes. I am Yu-Gi-Moto, guys. I do have the 3rd legendary Egyptian god card right here. And of course, it's the Winged Dragon of Ra! There he is. He has been summoned, you guys. That is cool. Now, if you guys have seen this first season of Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's one particular monster that Yu-Gi-Moto summons to defeat Kaiba in one of the biggest battles of his life. And I think you know who I'm talking about, right? This character takes not 1, not 2, but 5 cards to summon. I think you know who I'm talking about. Yes, I do have all 5 cards to summon this next character. Here we have the right leg of the Forbidden One. The next card, the left leg of the Forbidden One. The next card, the right arm of the Forbidden One. And the next one, the left arm of the Forbidden One. And last but not least, I now summon with my 5th card, Exodia, the Forbidden One! There he is. So now I've summoned 2 Egyptian god cards and now Exodia. Kaiba, come after me. You're in trouble. Your little blue eyes white dragon's got nothing on me. Yes, you can do your ultimate blue eyes white dragon. And now, my Exodia, obliterate them! So yeah, pretty freaking cool. Exodia's big, oh my gosh. And that Winged Dragon of Ra. So here's one of the boxes that I got. This is the Legendary Dragon Dex from Yu-Gi-Oh! There's Yu-Gi-Moto right there. And I think that's the Dark Magician when he merged Dark Magician with the Red Eyes. Black Dragon, if I remember correctly. And here we have a smaller deck. This is the Crimson King structure deck. It even came with a really cool poster. So here's the oh no, this is actually a playing mat. This looks like a playing mat because this actually has the cards on here. Oh, that's really cool. This is actually my first playing mat. Look at that. So you can have your dueling cards on here. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Alrighty, so with that note, I am heading to Knott's Berry Farm. My time to be there is at 5:30. I have 20 minutes now, so let's get rocking! Yeah, they still have not brought back the Knott's Berry Farm sign over here. Gosh darn it. Alright, well, looks like we'll have to park by Independence Hall. I've seen the lines for opening of Knott's for Knott's Berry Farm. It's gone down the street past like Mrs. Knott's and the Berry Market, so that's a little scary. Thankfully, we're here for the buffet, so we're not going to be dealing with that craziness for a little bit. I bet this place was busy during the summertime. Good old Soak City. It's another place I haven't been to. There it is, guys. Independence Hall. Fortunately, we'll not be able to say hello to it today because I'm in a bit of a going into crunch mode right now because I need to get ready for tonight. Parking is a little expensive for Scary Farm. It's $35 for Scary Farm for like cars, for like buses and all. 40. Wow. But anyways, we're gonna have some fun tonight, guys. If you guys are curious as to what's coming up, here's a little sneak peek of all the scary fun. On that note, you guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. It is greatly appreciated. If you guys are interested in checking out any of my other vlogs from right here at Knott's Berry Farm, there is a link in the description box down below. It also includes like food reviews as well as ride views. So, ride video, excuse me. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you all next time here on the vlog series. In scene, as they say in Hollywood. I'm definitely not in Hollywood. I'm about to get scared the crap out of here at Knott's Berry Farm. That, my friends, is a wrap. See you next time. And happy Halloween. Why did Oogie Boogie get in there all of a sudden? Well, well, well. What have we here? Oogie Boogie not here at Knott's Berry Farm. Oh, I'm so sad. But it's not Disney, it's Knott's though.